Hello, everyone. My music back again, twice in one day. It's almost like going to the biscuit tin, thinking you're completely out of biscuits, and then realizing that actually there's still some in there. That's what it's like, isn't it? I'm going to be talking to Claudia Kate in a minute. First of all, though, she gets to see for the first time ever the Analog Trash video, our wonderful sponsors. If you like music and you'd like to support them, please do go and have a look at their website because they have got some wonderful stuff. Here it is. I've never actually thought about that before, Claudia, but actually when I watched that video, which I must have now seen about 100 times, I realised that some of those words that came up would make great names for bands.
They would.
You know, Early Access. Wouldn't that be a great name for a band?
I love
Early
coming
Access.
up with band names.
Yeah.
Such a fun game.
Support Act, I think, would be a great name for a band.
Support Act. Yeah, that would really confuse people.
Wouldn't it?
Especially if you
especially when you're headlining.
Yeah, especially when you're headlining. It's genius.
I'm headlining tonight, and I am Support Act.
Support Act. I love it.
Fantastic.
I'm writing that one down.
Yeah.
Excellent. Hello.
Where are you coming from, by the way?
So I'm from Cambridge, but I now live in South London with my partner, and he produces all my music. So we're a little team. Little team, yeah.
Little thing.
Our flat looks like a bomb hit at all times because there's just music stuff everywhere.
Yeah. Do you feel like that? Is it? Have you got a sense of me and him versus the world? Does it feel like that?
Sometimes. I mean, it did. I think it did a few years ago when we just lived in lockdown. We were living in my parents' house in like a little village in Cambridge, and we made like an album, which was really cool. And it felt like that then. But I think now in London we do work with other people and like
you get out a bit.
Yeah, we get out a bit, but it's nice. It's nice to be able to just make music at home and do it together. Like it's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, try and get out a bit.
When did music making start for yourself?
So I was writing songs from like a young age because I remember seeing Taylor Swift.
Do you know what? She is the most mentioned person on this podcast.
Yeah, I can imagine. I actually, and this might be controversial, I do think she's like the best songwriter of like all time.
Do you?
I do. I know obviously there's the old greats, but I just think she's
What is it about the mega mammoth talent that is Taylor Swift you think makes her that?
It's she can just write about anything, and the way she puts things into words is like you just hear it and you're like, I never in a million years would have. That is exactly the feeling, and that was exactly it. But I never ever would have been able to put it like that. And then the amount of melodies, like she's had album after album, and like none of the songs sound the same, and her ability to like have all these eras and like come out with like a country album and then a pop album, and it's just
it's almost like she should have a tour called Eras. That would almost
it's my idea, guys. It's my idea.
That would be perfect, wouldn't it?
So perfect.
What do you think of her latest album? What do you make of that?
Midnight. I liked it. I'm a folklore fan. Like when folklore came out, I listened to it. I must listen to it 24/7. I fixate on one album and then I'm never listened to it again. So I was a folklore person, and then Evermore, amazing. And then Midnights, I wasn't quite in the mood for pop, but now I listen to it and I'm with it. But when it first came out, I was a bit like, I
love the sparseness of it. I love the sparseness of it. I think that's brilliant. It controversially in our house, it gets a bit of a beating because my 17-year-old son thinks it's awful. Because, particularly because of the one song which was a hit, which has the words "Everybody's a sexy baby," and he thinks that's the worst lyric ever.
No, he doesn't get it. You have to get it.
You have to get it, don't you? That's what I say to him.
Yeah.
Have to get
Yeah,
it.
out of context, it's awful.
It's
Lyric.
the worst lyric
But
ever out of
yeah,
context.
it is, yeah.
But I
Funny.
said to her, no, it's culturally relevant. You've got to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I'm glad you appreciate that and agree with me on that. And
Yeah.
now I've got Claudia saying that. I'm going to play that to him later and go, look, it's not just me, an old dad saying that. Claudia says it as well, and she's hit. So there you are. Shut up.
That'll win him over for
Back
sure.
into your corner.
Yeah. I love it.
What was it? What was the music that changed your life? What was it that actually started you going, I've got to write?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up with like, I'm 24, so I grew up with like CDs in the car. Like that was the time. And I grew up on like a lot of rock and pop, like Queen, Rack Pack, which was a bit rogue. Kelly Clarkson.
This is literally your mum and dad's record collection, right?
Like their collection. Okay. Yeah. So I grew up on like the cores, like grew up on very like lyric heavy kind of music. So I always loved it, and I always loved writing. And then, I think I found Taylor Swift on the internet when I was about 12, and that got me into playing guitar. So I always had piano lessons, which I found really boring. And then once I saw her playing guitar, I was like, oh my God, I can do that. And I learned chords. And then that just changed everything. I just started writing songs. I think my first song, maybe I was 14. Awful lyrics about dreams. And then it just went from that. Yeah, boys. And then it went from there. And I never really took it seriously until it got to like going to uni. And I was going to do an English degree. And then I saw an advertisement for ACM, just like, Academy of Contemporary Music. And it looked like Camp Rock. And that was like my favorite film.
Oh, I was like,
fantastic. I've got to do this. So
I am Demi. I'm going.
I am Demi Lovato.
Did you meet the Jonas Brothers? Were they there?
No. They just missed them. They were there the day before I started. And so then I went to ACM, and that was it for me. I was like, right, I'm going to try and do this as a career. And that was 6 years ago. And here we are.
Yeah. So in that collection, because some people have said you sound a little bit like her at times, there wasn't Made of Bricks then. That wasn't in that. That CD wasn't in there, was it?
That came later, actually. Which is odd because Kate Nash was around when I was like younger, like 12. But it was really young. But it was my friend Libby. I got sat with her in science. She was so cool, and I was like, I'm so excited to be sat next, because I didn't mind this girl for years, and I was so excited to be sat next to her. And I remember she started giving me music recommendations, and that's how we became friends. And then she was like, you have to check out Kate Nash. So I went home and I put on Made of Bricks, and it definitely did something up here. It kind of changed my brain. And then I started sort of singing in this accent, this like London accent. And because I knew Lily Allen. I've been listening to her for years. But Kate Nash was like something else, something that.
Did you then start following? Did you start following the journey of Kate Nash, because she's had it, she's had it, right? She's done, I love that whole thing where, that period where she started going off with Emmy the Great,
I love Emmy the Great.
Yeah. And they were doing stuff together and dressing up in Halloween costumes and doing it. Was that an inspiration in itself? Kind of like, cool, look, it's a very punk attitude to music.
Yeah, I think it came a bit later, so I wasn't really on social media until uni, and then at uni really got into like YouTube and Instagram and whatever, and that's when I picked up Kate Nash again, like properly, and I was like, oh, that person whose music I used to listen to, that's her image. And I started really genuinely obsessing, like probably a bit creepy. Like I've met her a few times now.
Have you?
Trying not to be like a super fan, but I really got into her music in sixth form, especially, and then her documentary, and not sixth form.
Has she heard your music? Do you know whether she's heard your music? Does she?
I'm not sure. She might have done, because we have a few mutuals now. She's playing a gig in June, and I was like, can I support you? Haven't heard back yet.
Oh, but we've got to make that happen, haven't we?
I feel like that would be really perfect.
Wouldn't it?
I think I'd be a good fit.
Okay, so anybody that listens to this over the next few days, we're going to tag Kate Nash in, and if you could just really get behind that as a campaign,
it'd be amazing.
Claudia Kate to be support act, which is her new band.
It's my new band name.
Support act.
Claudia Kate and the support acts.
that works. If not, what you have to do is you have to do what a guy called John Mouse, I don't know whether you've ever followed him,
I don't know.
what he's done, and he's set himself up as the best support act in the world,
That's amazing.
which I think is a very clever thing to do. And
It is.
effectively, he told me when he came in for his interview, because I'd seen him supporting a band called Piroshka twice, who, if you haven't heard them, you should.
I'll check them out.
And I said, so how did you get the gig? And he said, basically, I said to them, I will be the best support act in the world. And he said, one, I will warm up your audience because I'll do some like funny dancing and I get out into the stage and everything else. So he does.
That's so smart. See, I don't think I sell myself enough because I would be the best support act.
Exactly. So learn from this. So he said that, and he said then what really clinched it, he said, I will sell your merch and I'll drive the van. And that was it. It was a game changer.
Done.
He was in.
Genius.
I thought it was actually quite brilliant.
That's brilliant. So brilliant.
And true to his word, at half time between him and the other band, he was there on the merch stand.
On the merch stand. I would do that. I love doing the merch stand. Best place in the house.
Do you love merch?
I love merch. I mean, it's where the money is for one. But no, I love my friend Hannah does it. She like creates the coolest designs for me. I owe her like a lot of money. We're on an IOU basis because it's not her full-time job.
Give her a big shout out. So
yes,
who's
Hannah,
she called?
Hold on, I need to check her Instagram. Give me a second. She's in Australia living her best life. So she's not done graphics for me for a while.
Okay.
But she is absolutely...
So she doesn't actually need money because she's got Bondi Beach and all of that.
She's all right.
Yeah.
It's hansophia.art. So Han Sophia with a PH .art. And she does, I don't know if you can see, she does, those are my designs at the top there, those top three.
Fantastic.
She's very good. But yeah,
hansophia.art.
Make it big time, owe her money.
So again, we're going to copy her in. We're going to copy her in as this goes round. And again, if everybody that's watched this, if you can follow her,
give her a follow, right, yeah, she's amazing.
Just every time you follow, then that takes a little bit off the credit that Claudia owes. I
owe her quite, Look, we're very good friends. We used to live together. It's okay. I do pay people, I promise. Pay your workers.
But well, look, but come on, Claudia, you've got to get paid first yourself, haven't you? And that's difficult.
It's not paying too well.
What's your big ambition, music-wise?
I just really want to go on tour. Like that's always been. I just want to travel the world, and if I could do that doing music, that would be the dream. Like even as a support act, or that is the dream.
Well, now I haven't seen you live yet, but the little videos I see of you live, you look like you're great live.
I think so. I love it. I just really enjoy it.
Yeah. Do you feel like, is that completely you up there, or do you kind of inhabit a different version of Claudia Kate when you're live?
I think in a way, because I can be quite anxious. And when I carry that on stage, I don't play very well. So my last gig, I was like, you know what? I had to really talk to myself. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go out there and I'm going to have a really good time. And afterwards, everyone said it was like the best they'd ever seen me play. So I think that is my. I mean, it's an obvious approach, really, but it's me, but confident, which I am really. I think I just get in my head because I love a party. I love it. I love socializing and
So you're a confident social person.
Yeah.
But you get a little bit anxious about going and performing in front of people.
Yeah.
I totally get that. I always said to myself, because there's introverts, extroverts, and ambiverts. Yeah. I always said that I was an exaggerated introvert or a very confident introvert, and something like that. Because I actually grew up through school and everything being really quite shy.
Yeah. Honestly, same. Yeah.
Yeah. You wouldn't have known that, oh, look, that's the guy that's going to get up on stage and start being mad.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed sort of like, in a way, hiding behind the music a little bit. It's just kind of like, felt like that was something I felt comfortable doing.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah. And that's where you're at, really. I mean, I think the more there's the other thing. It's a bit like doing this. people say to me all day long, they say, how do you do that? How do you talk to people? And it's like, well, I do it all day long.
Yeah,
so,
the more you do it, it's easier.
Yeah. So there's our third thing. We always get three things. So right, Kate Nash as a support act. We're all gonna follow Claudia's friend who does the designs for her for the merch, because that's fantastic. And thirdly, we're all going to go and see her live, so that actually she has to do it more often.
Yeah,
and that will help her build in confidence. It's almost like a club sort of mentoring session for you. Us coming to a gig. There we go.
Yeah. Just need to book another one in.
Yeah. So what when you're writing currently, because I presume you're carrying on writing all of the time, what are you writing about now? What's going through Claudia's head at the moment?
So after every release, I try and change the topic a bit. So my first album was very much about like adolescence going into my 20s. Like EP, Going Places, came out in February. That was very much then moving to London, finding my feet, all this. And then now I'm very much in a mental space of like, I'm really scared about what's happening in the world. And that's what Big Talk Little Girl was about. But because, if you've listened to it, I put every single thought into Big Talk Little Girl.
Into the one song.
Yeah, the one song. I had to really take about 4 months to just get inspiration. So I didn't write anything till about a week ago. And it is kind of all along that thing of like kind of fear of where everything's going, like even technology, people, views, or last night I wrote one about like my relationship with my grandparents, because their views are very different. So I think that's kind of where I'm at the moment. It's interesting.
What's the thing that scares you most in the world then?
I think it's there seems to be a very heightened sense of tension at the moment, and there seems to be more disagreement and more, clashing than I ever realized growing up. And I don't know if it's just because I'm older now, but it feels like, especially here in America, like the tensions are just getting higher and higher, and like, it feels like something really bad's coming. Like it doesn't feel like things are getting better, and I feel very powerless to help. And I think a lot of young people feel like that. And it's just navigating whether this is like normal or if things genuinely are quite bad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I think things probably are quite bad. I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? And part of that is what's true and what's not true, and how much of it is sensationalized by the press or not right by the press or whatever, because they they want to twist and have an agenda for everything these days. But is part of it the fact that we seem to be completely blasé to some extent about things like war happening? It's like, it's bad for 2 weeks or something, and then we've forgotten all about it because we're on to the next thing.
Things move so quick, especially with like the internet. It's like, oh, this is a problem, and then 2 weeks later you forget. Like Ukraine, I was like so stressed about it, and I had a friend out there and I was messaging her, and then like a month goes by and I'm like out the news if it's still happening. But that happens with so many things. But there's also so many things to worry about and care about. It's like, where do you put your energy and time? Because I can't sit around all day going, oh my god, what's happening in Ukraine? Obviously I can like donate to charities and talk about it, but there's like only so much you can do, and I think that weight really gets to me.
I know. But it is quite intense, and I spoke to a Ukrainian musician on this who was kind of taking refuge at the time in Ireland, and then when she went back to Ukraine, she actually sent me some footage on where she was in the Ukraine, and like, there were literally on her phone bombs going off and stuff, and you just think,
it's crazy.
That's not a world I hope I ever know, but it's it's absolutely frightening to think that is going on. But it is the most frightening thing for me is the fact that, whilst that's going on, the newspaper article that day would be sort of like, oh, the price of or inflation's gone up again, and you just think,
or like something about like Harry and Meghan, like no one cares.
Yeah, Harry and Meghan, who cares?
So funny.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. But it's Harry and Meghan is good for something. Memes mainly.
Yeah.
You've seen the one with Somebody that I used to know with Will standing by
No,
the
I
side.
haven't.
Have you not
You
seen
send
that?
it to me.
Oh yeah, it's
I love
fantastic.
it.
Yeah,
Send it.
it's the Gautier song where somebody that I used to know,
Yeah,
and
it is.
they're like, you know, they're going like, but you didn't have to cut me out.
I love it. I love the drama.
Oh dear, you're
good.
quite there with social media, etc. I mean, do you feel quite comfortable with that aspect of the business, which is obviously something that you have to be kind of aware of and do these days?
Yeah, I think I've adapted well. Like I'm sometimes a bit behind. Like I'm friends with Ellie Dixon, if you've heard her music. But in lockdown, she was
We
really
are
on
in
TikTok.
talks. We are in talks. She may
Yeah.
well come on. Yeah.
She's so great. She's hilarious. Yeah, so in lockdown she was on TikTok and I was like, oh, whatever. And then she got famous, like, and I was like, oh, and then I joined it and obviously I've had a bit of success on it.
You've
But
got to
I'm
dress
so
up as a
slow.
dinosaur. You know that. You've got
I
to dress
do.
up as
And she had a spacesuit before. I don't know if you saw, like, she's the queen of costumes. So yeah, I'm a bit reluctant for things at first, which is sort of a downside, but I will adapt. Like now I can do TikTok. I've got it. And I'm trying to now, I'm trying to get my consistency up. But it is funny, like the amount of
you can teach me because I've literally just started on that. I mean, and I run a social media marketing company, but I spend my day on so many platforms. It's like, and I've done TikToks I've made like the little videos for clients before now, but it was like, oh, do I need to do another platform? Yeah, I probably do.
So many.
It's like
there'll be a new one soon. No one will care about TikTok anymore.
I'm going to post on this in the morning, and then I'm going to post on that, and then
so tiring. And it's you can't just post a song, like you have to do the lyrics because people won't watch it without the lyrics, and then can't be too long because they get bored, and like it's just like so much.
Well, you see, and and one of the things for me is that people contact me and say, well, we could help you with this, or we could, and it's like, yeah, but do you realize that I'm making content for about 10 people?
Yeah.
I mean, I literally make about 500 posts a week.
Yeah.
For people, right? That's mental.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's so much.
And so there's me from all day long, and then it's like, oh yeah, I should do my own content. Yeah. This is one of the exceptions. I love making this content. I've been making this content throughout the whole of the.
Yeah, but you're in a routine with it. So
that's what you have to do. You have to get into a routine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't believe I've gone over 200 episodes of this now.
Wow.
That's a lot of people to interview about.
Do you ever do like in-person things or events or anything?
Well, I would love to if people let me out the house, but they won't. They just won't. Yeah. No, I am going. I am. I have been invited, and they sent me tickets, which is lovely, to go and see Lowe's, who I interviewed a little while back.
Oh, nice.
So now that we are getting to the point where we can go out and do these things again, and the children are of an age where
you can leave them.
I can leave them locked in the box for the not really, not really, before social services come in. Then we are starting to go to gigs. So I am going to quite a few gigs this year. I'm going to that. I'm going to see someone called I'll try and think. Wet Leg,
yeah.
And Harry Styles. I'm going to see.
Sorry, who?
Yeah.
Sorry, who's that?
I don't know.
Must be up and coming.
He just said, "Come and watch me." I'm
not very good at the front. Yeah,
not very good at the moment, but I'll get better by the time you come. And so, I go and see them, and I go and see the Sherlocks later in the year. Nice. Hi guys, if you're watching. Yeah, I might go and see a young lass called Claudia Kate if she.
I wouldn't bother. She's great.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I will let you know as soon as I've got. I'm in the process of booking another gig, so once I've got one, I'll let you know.
What's been the hardest thing for you to get right as a musician?
Such a good question. I think it is like the putting myself out there. I think I've held myself back a lot, and a lot of self-doubt along the way. But I also, in a counter argument to myself. I do think the music I was making before, it was good for them, but I don't think it was anything. I'm proud of it, but it's not anything I think would have necessarily like plunged me into a bigger fan base. So I'm also happy things are happening at the rate they are, and I'm, as much as I'll moan and be like, oh, I'm sick of working like 3 jobs and always feeling stressed, but it's like, actually it's like a fun journey, and I'm only going to make a better song next time. So that's my outlook.
That's a really good
that made
outlet to
sense.
have.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's a really good outlet to have, and it sounds like, not in a bad way, but you've actually got peers as well who you're kind of looking up to, but also kind of looking to guide you in a way as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm very much about support each other. Like, I will support my artist friends till the end of the earth.
Because it's hard work, isn't it?
It's really hard work, yeah.
Yeah. Did learning an instrument actually come quite quickly to you, or was that
pretty slow, actually? I'm not super, I don't know, I'm not wired that way. I think reading music was really hard, but once I got the piano chords, I found it easy. And then singing, I had singing lessons, I found that really easy.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm not super like that.
I really would love one day for a musician who's starting out to actually produce a set of videos that are like a course in learning to play guitar, where actually they show just how crap they are to begin with.
Yeah.
So that actually, because you know when you sign up online or you go through YouTube for these tutorials, and it's like, hey, today I'm going to show you how to play this.
Yeah.
It's like back in my day, right? I don't know whether I haven't been in a music shop to buy a guitar for ages, right?
Yeah.
But you may have done. And I don't know whether it's still like that, but in my day, it was exactly like that in music shops. You used to go into a music shop and you'd go, I'd like to have a look at that guitar over there. And they go, oh, that one. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let me plug it in for you. And they take it down and they plug it in. And then they go, just let me show you what it can do.
Oh.
And then they'd be like, and it's like, okay. And then they hand it to you with that kind of smug smile. It's like,
yeah.
But I got my own back once.
Yeah.
And this is the trick, right? I took along my mate, right? I was in a band and I took along my mate who was a fantastic guitarist, and he could play jazz guitar, right?
Elite.
And it's a little bit like, if you've never seen it, you must watch this film, because it's a classic music film, Crossroads. Have you ever seen Crossroads?
No, but I'll write it down.
Okay, so it's the same kid that is Karate Kid.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, in the original Karate Kid. And it's like the story of Robert Johnson sort of thing. So he goes to sell his soul to the devil and learn the blues and whatever. And in it, there's this fantastic scene where it's him battling against this evil guy who's played by Steve Vai. And Steve Vai, actually, for all of you music connoisseurs out there, plays both of the guitar parts because he's pretty damn hot. But it's like the bit that beats the Steve Vai guy in the end, with all of this kind of widdly stuff, as he starts playing classical guitar.
Love it.
Yeah, and it's completely beats it. But this is what my friend was like. He took the guitar after Widdly Man was playing, and he went, oh yeah, good. He said, let me have a go. And then he started playing jazz, and then he handed it back and went, do you want to go?
That's so good.
And this guy's face was like,
so good. I love it. There's nothing like a little bit of petty revenge.
Yeah. So next time, when if you get like a friend that's like really good at sort of jazz and whatever, take them into a guitar shop. Go, yeah, we'd like to try that guitar. Wait till Widdly has a go, and then get your friend to that. And you will film it, because it will go viral.
I will.
You know what? It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today.
Oh, same.
I think your music is super. Actually, I really love it. I love the attitude in it.
Thank you.
That comes across.
Try.
Yeah, no, and I think we need a bit of that, because there is quite a lot of nicey music out there at the moment, but it's
Yeah, there is.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it just it. I'm not saying your music isn't. It's great to listen to, and it is poppy at the same time, but it has got a little bit of attitude to it, you know.
Yeah.
And I really like that.
Thank you.
I think it's the same reason why people like Phoebe Bridgers and whatever, because of that little bit of attitude. And I think you could be there. So I'm going to wish you all the best for the future. We will copy Katy, not Katy Perry, because that would be awful. You really don't. Can you imagine?
Oh, I just think of the Just Eat advert with Katy Perry. Ding dong.
I'm sorry. I don't really want to diss Katy Perry on this show.
No.
But I don't know why she did the Just Eat advert.
I don't know why she did it either.
Because I'm sorry, Snoop Dogg's Just Eat advert was the best.
It was really good.
Ever. Right?
It was.
That was never, ever going to get topped by anyone. And anything after that was just going to be a
big disappointment.
A big disappointment. So yeah, we're gonna tag your friend in. We're gonna tag all of your influences in. We're gonna get you that support slot.
Yes.
And hopefully we're going to see you around next year. Now, tell people where's the best place to I mean, you're on Spotify and all of those streaming things, but where's the best place for people to connect with you so that you can keep in touch with them, because that's important, build that fan base.
I reply to everyone on Instagram. That's where I post everything. So it's
she does.
Claudia _Kate.
I can actually contest that.
And I reply quickly-ish.
Like
because overwhelmed
next year, right?
Yeah. Give it 6 months. So yeah, Claudia _Kate, same on TikTok. And yeah, I love to chat. Tell me how great I am. I love it.
Yeah.
And I will come, if you're a musician, I will come to your gigs as well. So message me.
And if you're a really famous musician, she will be there with her new band support act.
Genuinely, we are looking for a name for my band, like Claudia Kate and the. So I actually think Claudia Kate and the support band is quite smart.
I think that's great.
Quite funny. I like it.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't think of anything. So this is good.
And the support band. I run it by them.
Yeah, support band.
It looked great on the t-shirt. Oh, can I leave you with that one bit of advice? And I have left this to every young musician out there. And this is for the merch, because I know you love your merch as well, right? You have to do a t-shirt where it says, I listen to Claudia Kate on, and then it's got Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon.
Yeah, that's really smart.
Right? And then underneath that, it says, but I've paid her X amount for the t-shirt.
I love that. That's fun.
I've had several musicians already taking me up on it. I'm trying to start a revolution. If we can get more and more people to do it, it'd be brilliant, because then it shows people out there that yes, you can listen on your little black box in the corner of the room to whatever you like for your $14.99 or less a month, especially if you're a student. But that doesn't pay the musicians to make the music. So
that's a really smart idea.
It is, isn't it? If I can start that as a revolution, if I can get that going, I will be a happy man. I will say, when I go to my grave, I won't be rich from it, because I don't want to make any money out of it, but I will be able to say, do you know what? I helped start that revolution.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very smart.
That's the way forward. Claudia, it's been brilliant.
Thank you for having me.
We will be sharing this on all of the platforms for you to enjoy. And if you've enjoyed it, please share it so that Claudia can become very famous.
Very, very famous.
Very more famous than anything you can
ever.
Ed
Sheeran.
Well, imagine that. In fact, she may have been playing on the next Ed Sheeran tour, allegedly.
It might be.
It just hasn't.
It's a rumor.
It's
in the air.
Well, actually, I talked to his tour manager the other day.
Yeah, you dropped my name.
In all seriousness, I did.
That's cool.
He was busy buying a wine shop's worth of wine for an after party.
Love that. How did you notice him?
I'm connected with him on a very adult platform called LinkedIn.
Nice.
Where
Professional.
I have about 20,000 followers.
Wow.
And he was like, he likes my posts, funnily, because they're about music. And he was just telling me about the tour and how it's all gone. And
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Love the internet.
Yeah, isn't the internet brilliant? It just
Great. Chat to anyone.
people together. So Claudia, to become famous, make that happen, folks. And if you've enjoyed this, you can subscribe on the various platforms. This goes to Spotify and stuff like that as well. And if you do that, then you'll hear all of the other interviews which I haven't even done yet. Or you can go back and listen to some of the 230 or whatever it is that I've already done, if you're that way inclined. Until next time, this has been the wonderful Claudia Kate, and this has been me, Graham Cave, from My Music. Bye for now.